Hey, what's up, everyone? Scott Brent coming to you on this beautiful Thursday evening in Colorado Springs. Hopefully, everyone had a great day. Hopefully, everyone's week's been outstanding and awesome. If it hasn't, it's all right. It's all part of being human. It's all part of living life and whatnot. But if you haven't caught the video that we did for the live stream yesterday, go check it out. Shout out to our sponsor, Tabala Creative Cuisine. They've adjusted their name, but go check them out. We did a live stream for their fine dining event that they had last night, plus the cocktails that Montana and Ashley had concocted at Black Hat Distillery. Shout out to Black Hat Distillery for hosting that event and letting us come in there, live stream it. It was interesting for me because when I had set it up, wasn't nervous, wasn't worried about it. But then people were like, how's this going to work? What are you going to do? I was like, we're going to learn and go by the fly as we go. So it turned out very well. I have to do some different tweaks and whatnot, maybe some lighter equipment, but we made it work. So it was great. Highly suggest go check it out. The video we had, you had Garrett Goggins with Webbing It. You had Madeline Costa with Succeeding Small, Jimmy Costa with Costa Comprehensive Tutoring. You had Dave Gallo with Gallo Business Consulting, Flip Aguilera with Sweat Nation. You had CC Brown with 33rd. It's not apparel. It's Airsoft Field down in Texas. Yeah, Jasper Axelrod that was there as the host of the event. You had Corey Cantrell, owner of Colorado Campfire Coffee. So it's a great location, mobile coffee shop. Go check them out. Then you had Jared Scott with Keep It Moving LLC. And then you had Barb. Gosh darn it, I do apologize. The last name starts with a G. I do apologize, Barb, with Stradler. It's business and training consultant business here in Colorado Springs. So it was great. They were able to talk about what they do. We had some different questions for them, just the collaboration piece, what they're looking at, wanting to bring into the Colorado Springs network, what they're looking at, wanting to change and whatnot. So it was a beautiful thing, a great turnout. And then we had Crash McGee, Chef Lamberton, that did a wonderful job on the courses out there. So shout out to everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Tabala and Jasper, for hosting that event and just allowing us to come out there and showcase everybody and do what we normally do, which is a live stream and just get pretty much two native sons out there. So the exciting thing, and for Patrick and I with two native sons, it's the small wins. It's little things. So business started the 4th of September, and now we're middle of November, and it's just growing. It's great to see. Have to give a shout out to both Gary and Dorinda Vanderpool with Design Your Life store in the Chapel Hills Mall for getting our shirts done. Also Duran Reese and Patrick Massey for the design work. So this shirt here, this was designed by Duran Reese. So shout out to Duran. So this is one of the shirts that we have for merchandise. So if you are looking to purchase some merchandise, we do have an early adapter special going on right now for a little bit in regards to lower price with the merchandise. So if you guys would like to order some, reach out to myself or Patrick. We'll let you know how it works. We're working on a store too, so we've had people ask about that. So we can do t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies. Also looking into some socks, hats. So going about that work. Excited for that, just to get the name out there and showcase what we're doing. It's exciting. Have the other two here. So this design here was Patrick Massey with Hype Designs LLC. So the Let's Go. And on the back, we have the smaller logo that Duran had put on and designed for us. So this 2NS established in 2020. So excited for that. And then we have our scripted shirts. It's the unscripted part. So This is what we have going on here. You have scripted getting cut in half by the phrase of creating the Fuji lifestyle. So got a couple orders in today. So that was exciting because yesterday was the showcase of what we have with merch. So that's a small one for us, starting somewhere and just taking and growing large. But like I said, if you guys would like to support, purchase some merchandise, reach out to myself or Patrick. We'll let you know how it works and how we go about it. So, but I did talk a little bit that we'll be working on a shop. So just things in the work, excited for it. But hopefully you guys are looking and finding things that are small wins for you, regardless of what it is, even if it's one small baby step towards your goal or direction that you want to achieve. Celebrate it. Celebrate the shit out of it, because we need to celebrate the small wins. It's one of those things that I've been reading a book, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, and it was very interesting because some of the things that I was reading today really just goes with the aspect that we've got to celebrate our small wins. We don't do it enough because for whatever reason, we're scared to celebrate our small wins, because people are going to judge you and say, oh, you shouldn't be bragging or you shouldn't be celebrating. No, screw that. Like, go have fun. Let's go. So you got to celebrate the small wins, because we're so busy. We don't stop working. We don't stop running. And when something comes up that's a means to celebrate, stop and celebrate it. Find your tribe, find those people that you can celebrate with, and they're excited for you, and you're all working together to achieve a bigger dream for each of you and whatnot. You've got to find those people, though, because if not, you're by yourself, and if you understand that you're with yourself 100% of the time, it's a sad state, because if you don't have anything that comes in there and jumps and interrupts that vicious negativity cycle, you're going to constantly be in it, because if you don't work on your mindset, you don't change how you see stuff, you're just going to be in this vicious cycle, and it's going to really suck. It truly will. It will suck. And you'll be like, man, this sucks. Yeah, we're all about sucking right now. So, but in regards with a couple of things I was reading within Think Like a Monk, this was chapter 2. It's talking about negativity. And so he was talking in regards when he was going through his studies as a monk, they had an exercise that they had to do. And when I was reading this, I was like, ooh, man, I don't know how this would work, but I'll figure it out. But they said one of the exercises that they had to accomplish was keeping a tally of every criticism we spoke or thought. And so the criticism is both for themselves as an individual and other people, other things, just keeping a tally. And what they had to do was for each one, we had to write down 10 good things about the person. So let me ask you, and let's think about this. Has there been a time, even today, that you had a criticism of somebody else? Now, let me ask you this. Think about that person that you had the criticism with. Can you take the time and name 10 good things about that individual? And so this may be where you have to do the work and you're like, shit, this is not where I want to be at. Especially because if you're going to give a criticism, and think about yourself. If you're criticizing yourself, you got to think about 10 good things about yourself. And so that's probably going to be tough, because if you're in that negative headspace and you're already criticizing, you're stacking negative thoughts. And so it's going to be so much tougher to find the good things, especially about yourself, because we as individuals suck. We are our own worst critic for whatever reason. We want to judge ourselves. We want to be so harsh on ourselves. It's not a good thing. You're with yourself 100% of the time. So why do you want to already beat yourself up? It's just something to think about. But when you think about it, when you have that one criticism and then you have to come up with 10 good things to counteract that one thing, do you really want to do that extra work to counteract the one thing? Because you could have changed your thoughts and whatnot. And so I have to laugh. I'm like, that's a lot of extra work. Do I want to do all that extra work? I don't know. That's not me. So, and so there was a saying in here that, man, it's one of these things that It's the inside work. It starts with you working on the inside, which is going to affect the outside work, but it starts on the inside. And so the saying said, do not give your attention to what others do or fail to do. Give it to what you do or fail to do. So don't put extra focus, energy on other people. Put it on yourself and give that attention to what you're doing or what you're not doing. And it goes back to this whole thing. It's inner work. It starts on the inside, and then that bleeds to the outside. But everybody wants to go in reverse. We want to try to change everything around us, and then we're going to be like, oh, that will help us. That will make us happy. That ain't going to make you happy. You're going to be all mad and angry because you're trying to control things out of your control. Legitimately, the only thing you can control is in your bubble. So unless you're going to go freaking like avatar somebody and take your hand and slap them in the head and like attach to their head, then yeah, that's a little bit different because now they're in your bubble. But other than that, they're not in your bubble. So what can you control? You, your insides, your inner thoughts, your inner actions, what you're working on is what you can control. And then that ends up going out and impacting the outside world. So it's one of those things that just makes you think a little bit differently. You've got to think differently and whatnot. And the last thing that really, really made me laugh and whatnot, there was a study here. Let me see. It was a Stanford study. They were taking 104 subjects and assigned them to two different groups. And one group had to write the time that they were bored. And then the other group had to write about a time when life seemed unfair, when they felt wronged or slighted by someone. And then they had asked if they wanted to help the researchers with an easy task. Those who'd written about a time they'd been wronged were 26% less likely to help the researchers. In a similar study, participants who identified with a victim mindset, and I've talked about that before, the victim versus victor mindset. Mindset, it's all on you. But they were talking about who identified with the victim mindset were not only more likely to express selfish attitudes afterward, they were also more likely to leave behind trash and even take the experimenter's pens. So if you have this connotation to stack negative thoughts, yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And the problem that we run into, and this is where it's work. It's not easy work. It is difficult work because you're working on your mind that has been programmed with a lot of paradigms and beliefs that don't benefit you, and it's your comfort zone. So you don't want to shake that comfort zone up because it's scary. But they had said that we're wired to conform. Your brain would rather not deal with conflict and debate. Hence the reason people don't want to question their beliefs. Hence the reason people don't want to change, because their brain is wired to stay with the easy path, the path of least resistance, which is going with being negative instead of being positive. And it's stuff that you got to work on. And it's not easy. It's fun, though. It's fun work, but it's not easy. It's one of those things. It's your mindset's a muscle. You got to continually work on it. And that's the power of who you surround yourself with. That's where you got to audit and look at who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're working with, who are you letting into your most valuable asset, your head, who's coming in and taking occupying space in your head, and are you increasing the rent where they shouldn't be there, or are you allowing them to come in there for your rent and just run rampant and run roughshod all up in your mind? So it's something to really think about. So I've got 2 pod deck questions here, some things to think about. So we already know some off the wall random stuff that normally isn't asked. And so the first one is, if you had a personal mascot, what would it be? I would have to say it'd have to be some goofy big ass grin, smile, because everybody knows I love to smile. I'm probably 90% smiling, 10% sometimes upset or angry or whatnot. But personal mascot would just be a big old cheesy smile. Make people laugh and whatnot. So, and then the last one, this is what the heck. So do you have a signature move or a quirk that people notice or comment on? So it's either going to be the let's go with the shaka up here, or lately it's been the mustache. I've had people that have come up and said, what's up with the mustache? Hey, so what occurred was this past weekend was my drill weekend for the Air Force. Had a airman in the unit that's like, hey, let's grow mustaches for next month because it's no shave November. I was like, all right, cool. You gave me the challenge. You already know I'm going to go with it pretty much. So grew it, and that's what I have here. So now this is here. Rest of the facial hair starting to grow in and whatnot, but it's going to end up being some funky stuff going on for the rest of the month, which is okay. It's the 12th of November. End of the month is 18 days away, 17 days away here soon. So, and then back into drill period, it's going to be all shaved off and whatnot. But right now, it's the mustache. A lot of people are like, what's going on? My co-host, Miriam, made fun of it. She's like, what's up with the porn stash? I was like, well, this is the regs that I deal with when it comes to facial hair in the military. So, but yeah, it's okay. I do what I need to. I do myself. Love it. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so other than that, we've got just the exciting parts. Have a couple of different things that we're working on t-shirt wise for Two Native Sons. And of course, got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Tabala Fine, Tabala Creative Cuisine. So the name change and all that, but Tabala Creative Cuisine. So anybody here in Colorado Springs, go check them out. Great food, great staff. Jasper's a great owner, big vision, big energy, loves life. And so Patrick and I are grateful that she came on as the first sponsor for us because she aligns right with what we're doing with Two Native Sons. So, and that was something that I was talking to Patrick today. I was like, you know, it's funny because we started talking about sponsorship and Jasper was the first sponsor that came on with us. And I had to look and I was like, you know what? It's so unique just to see the attraction piece come into play and who's coming on board, who's coming online. And it's a powerful thing when you start working on yourself, becoming the person that attracts the same person. You're not chasing, you're attracting and whatnot. And for me, the biggest thing that came into play was the personal development, working on my mindset, working on myself. Everything else came along because it's all the internal stuff like I talked about. So, but like I always say, and I know it's been some time since I've been live because, oh man, doing everything else, have fun. Like I said, I highly suggest go check it out. The live that we did last night, that was a good time, 3.5 hours of going live. But it was a blessing to be able to showcase small business owners, give them a great platform to be viewed and seen. And so that's just something that we look at. We do the legwork. We help people give that exposure and get seen by a lot of people. So, but if you guys are watching this and you have a dream, you have a vision, you have something in your spirit that you just don't know how to get it out. Maybe you feel like you don't have anybody that's there to pull that potential out of you, or you don't see it and you feel like you're on your own island. You don't have the group, the tribe that's there to support you. Reach out to myself and Patrick. That's one of the things that's underneath the umbrella of Two Native Sons. The biggest thing that we do is we create inspired action for individuals, helping them create inspired action for themselves. Because I tell people that you are the expert in your life. You have to be the hero of your own life. Us, Patrick and I, with Two Native Sons, who we're working with, we're not your hero. We're not here to save you. We're here to help you out because ultimately you have to be your own hero. You've got to take care of yourself. We're here to be that springboard. We're here to be that cheerleader, the support system. And we see the potential in you and we'll help pull it out. But ultimately, you've got to do the work. And so if you have any questions, you don't feel like you have the support, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, we've had great feedback. We're having people reach out and they're like, man, I'd love to be able to gain exposure, see what you guys are doing. We see what you're doing. we hear great things and whatnot. So if that's something that you're looking for your business, it's another avenue that we provide. And it's one thing that a lot of people, you see us, we're going live. A lot of people, I talk to a lot of people, they have this fear of going live for whatever reason. I think the biggest thing is either one, you're judging yourself and you're not taking the spotlight off of yourself. You're worried about what other people are thinking. You've got to take the spotlight off of yourself. You've got to shine it on other people, and you've got to get over your fear. You're being selfish. You have a story, you have a message that somebody else needs to hear. So you got to get out in your own way. And you got to stop being a selfish jerk. And that probably sounds funny. That probably hurts your feelings, but no, you're being a selfish jerk if you are not getting out of your own way, not taking advantage of social media like it should be taken, and sharing your message and story with somebody else. Or you have the other aspect that people are fearful because you don't know what's going on the other side of the camera. You don't know the reaction of somebody else. And so that's the other scary thing, because a lot of people will feed off of the body language, the energy being put off by the audience. And so it's a sticking point for individuals because they don't have anything to gauge. They don't know how people are reacting. And so with me, it's one of those things that I tell people, you love me or hate me, I'm going to keep doing it because I know somebody out there needs to hear what's going on. Somebody needs to hear the message and see that somebody has gone through it before. They will be fine. And every message, everybody's story is different. So I'm not going to resonate with everybody. You'll resonate with certain people that I'm not going to resonate with. And so that's the thing. But it's just what we do. And so I'm not ashamed of it. And like I always say too, with Two Native Sons impacting 1 billion people while being a $1 billion enterprise. And so the goal time frame for that, because I was thinking about it, and what I've have written down is actually the 4th of September of 2035, because that's when we started everything with Two Native Sons, was the 4th of September of this year. And so 15-year deadline. Yeah, it's a very lofty goal, but you know what? It's going to be accomplished. It will be done. So in 15 years we will have impacted 1 billion people, and we will be a $1 billion enterprise doing a lot of big things. So watch out. Here we come. Excited for it. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for your support. Like I said, if you have any questions, you have something going on, you want to speak, you don't feel like there's anybody there for you, don't be hesitant. Don't be fearful. Reach out, send us a private message, and we'll see what we can do, be of assistance, help you out and whatnot. But again, thank you guys for your time. I love you guys. Peace. I'll catch you guys later.